Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for this Plan With Me video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This week I'll be planning the week of September 11th through the 17th, and I'll be using a kit from my shop called Aloe, Vera much. It features cactus and succulents and a color palette of green, pink, blue, and a mint color. As I go through what's included in the kit, I just want to apologize again for the erraticness of these videos. I do film them fairly timely. It's just the voiceover itself that makes everything fall so far behind. I've toyed with the idea of recording the audio while I'm planning, but logistically it just probably won't work because my dogs are very vocal and it would just be a nightmare. And so I start as always by laying down the bottom washi, and then I'm going to zoom you in so I can get the date covers down. I usually put the date dots on the date covers while it's still on the sticker sheet. Just makes it a little bit more manageable that way. You may also notice that the last Plan With Me that I actually uploaded to YouTube was for August the 7th through the 13th. And I did some Frankenstein spreads for the 4 weeks following that, just because I had a lot of work ahead of me trying to ramp up to get my shop open and also participate in a few planner events here in my hometown. The next video I'll be uploading after this one is going to be an example of those Frankenstein spreads for the week after this. Which was September 18th through the 24th, and so that'll just kind of show you how I do those spreads, pulling in stickers from different kits just to kind of use up leftovers. And so now that I've got the date covers, the bottom washi, and the flags down, I start on Monday by putting a little to-do list. Instead of the usual tidying up around the house that I do on Monday mornings, I had to prepare some kits for a planner event that I was going to be attending, and so I was doing some last minute design on those and printing and cutting a bunch of them. And then I laid down a half box because my husband was homesick, so I was just going to put a little reminder of that in my planner. From there, I put down some of the patterned washi to cover up the black dotted lines that cross the page, and then I put a little gradient checklist, so I was going to order some supplies. On the bottom, I put down my littles for dinner and some TV that I was planning on watching that evening. I used a larger appointment label for one of the shows I was going to watch, which is Rick and Morty, and I threw down a sticker that I printed for that. And then from there I finish up the day by putting down a green glitter header with a little underneath that with an exclamation point to remind myself to call my dentist about an invoice, and then just add a little deco. On Tuesday I go ahead and put down a to-do header and a shortened gradient checklist for more printing and cutting that had to be done. And then underneath that I put down a half box for some grocery shopping that I was planning on doing. Under that I've got another larger appointment label. I needed to call Sailor's vet about some seizures that he had been having. We did have a change in his medication, and his seizures did increase one day. He had 4, which was unheard of. He's never had that many in one day. He usually only has 1 a month, and it turned out to be a bit of an anomaly. I don't know what was going on with him that day, but it hasn't happened since, and we haven't had to make any changes for him. And I finished off Tuesday with a little to-do list of some chores I had. On Wednesday I start with a today sticker, and then I laid down a patterned full box with a half box overlaying that to mark down a dentist appointment that I had. And then underneath I add another appointment label and a little sailor sticker to remind myself to pick up some medication for him. We're going to meet some friends on this day for lunch, and so I put down a half box with a bit of the solid washi as a backdrop to write down the details of that. And then bada bing, bada boom, my camera had cut out without me noticing, and so Thursday's pretty much all laid down. I have a little to-do list for more printing and cutting in the morning, and then I used one of the illustrated full boxes with a kitten staring out the window, and then a few other stickers for my littles and some things I had to do that afternoon. On Friday, I laid down a full gradient checklist for some cleaning I had to do around the house, and then followed that up with a glitter header. And then I was going to drop off some swag that I was donating for a planner event to the organizer's house. So I put down a little half box for that and one of the cactus deco. And then I've got a patterned full box that I overlay with another half box to mark down the details of a sushi dinner that I was going to be having with my husband. We were doing some other things on the weekend with friends, and so we couldn't have our traditional sushi lunch, and so we made it a Friday dinner instead because I really can't make it 7 days without sushi. And then finally ended up the evening doing some designing for some other stickers that I want to be offering in the shop soon. I want to put some pink skinny washi to cover up the black lines underneath the date covers for Saturday and Sunday before I lay down the weekend banner, which is a sort of a sunset over a pinky blue skyline. And then I lay down a habit tracker that I'm not going to be using upside down and cover it with some of the patterned washi. I don't know who the OG habit tracker flipper is, but kudos to them for thinking of doing that, flipping those upside down to use, because it's a great way to make use of a sticker that you may not otherwise be using for your weekly spread. And then at the bottom I lay down another patterned full box as a backdrop for a Geeks Who Drink event that we were planning on going to with a bunch of people. I top that off with a pink glitter header, and then I overlay the pattern box with some pink solid washi to write on, because I didn't think writing on that patterned full box would work out too well, even though it's kind of pale. And since it was a bar event, I put a little cocktail drink in the corner for deco. On top of that, I laid down a half box with a little Once More with Love munchkin that's got some food. So we were going to have some friends over for a barbecue. And I also added a small pink appointment box for Michael's run that I was going to do. And then on Sunday, I laid down some blue solid washi and a bit of the cactus deco to write down the details of a brunch that we were going to have with my brother-in-law and his wife and little baby boy. And then I added another one of the full boxes that has a quote, "Home is where your cactuses are." And then I followed up the day with a movie marquee for the movie Mother that we were going to see, which I don't think I can recommend, but it was certainly visually interesting. And then at the end of the day, Outlander was going to be on. And then moving on to the sidebar, I laid down a full quote box that says, "Let others be inspired by how you deal with your imperfections." And then following that, I put down some solid blue washi for a heading for a weekly box. I used 2 weekly boxes on pretty much all my sidebars to track some stats for another website that I run. It's a food-based website. And to tie in some pink on the sidebar and break up the sidebar a little bit, I put some skinny foiled pink washi, and then I lay down another header for the second weekly box. And then finally, it's a little bit out of frame, but I put down some patterned washi and one of the cactus deco. And so this is how the spread looks with all the stickers laid down. I'm just going to take a moment to fill it out, and I'll be right back. And so here's the spread with everything I know filled out. I did end up later going back to some of the white spaces and doing a little doodling. And here are the stickers that were left over after I finished the spread. Used quite a bit in this particular week. But the stuff that I have left over is mostly functional stuff that I can use in Frankenstein spreads like the one that I'll be uploading next week. As always, thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see future videos, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell to be reminded of when the next video is uploaded. Thanks so much. Bye.